Hello and welcome everyone. Today's video features the HMS Incomparable, which has just entered testing. HMS Incomparable was the name given by Admiral John Fisher to a proposal for a very large battlecruiser, which was suggested in 1915. Despite research into the concept, it never entered the design stage or ever came close to being built. Admiral Fisher had long been an advocate of improving technology to maintain Britain's naval superiority. At the beginning of the 20th century, he had masterminded the introduction of the dreadnought type of battleship and its faster cousin, the Battlecruiser. And at the start of World War I, Fisher returned to the office of First Sea Lord. Here he oversaw the development of vessels which took the battlecruiser concept to its logical extreme. As a warship, Incomparable would have been of dubious tactical value. Her construction would have come at great expense, and her armour was relatively weak. The Royal Navy's experience at the Battle of Jutland in 1916, where 3 of Fisher's battlecruisers were destroyed, resulted in a decisive turn away from the large light cruiser concept and towards the fast battleship. The subsequent designs of battlecruisers, the Admiral class, ended up incorporating much heavier armour that retained the proven 15-inch guns. Only one HMS Hood was completed, with the rest scrapped in 1919. If Admiral John Fisher had gotten his way, this is a representation of his creation, HMS Incomparable, now in World of Warships. So let's take a closer look at what is now hitting the high seas in the game. So let's start with the upgrades, main armaments, damage control, aiming systems, steering gears, concealment system, and main battery mod 3. Incomparable gets access to the depth charge airstrike, torpedoes, armor piercing, and high explosive. The consumables include damage control party, repair party, engine boost, short range hydroacoustic search, and a choice between spotter aircraft and a fighter. I'm using my Andrew Cunningham captain. Got a pretty standard UK battleship build. Gun feeder, grease the gears, adrenaline rush, basics of survivability, emergency repair expert, concealment expert, and fire prevention expert. So that's the build. So let's take a look at the ship's armour layout, starting here with fore end plating, 25mm, both deck and lower plating, all 25. Same here with aft end deck and aft end plating, both 25mm. Fore end armour belt, 102mm here, and this section is 127. Upper casemate armour is 152, and here 102mm, while the deck is 51. The superstructure is 19mm. Turn torpedo protection off, we can see the main belt is 279mm. There is an additional strip here underneath the rear turret, 127mm of aft end armour belt. The turrets themselves, 381mm of frontal plating, 254mm of side plating. Top plate is 127 and the rear plate is 254. Let's have a quick look at the internal armour. See here at the rear, the Citadel Warship is 127, both upper and lower. You can see here there is an element of sloped internal protection here. Here at the front, Citadel Warship 127, also 127, all 127mm. Let's look at the ship's survivability. 70,000 hit points, and that is with access to a total of 4 repair parties. The Incomparable gets a 14% torpedo protection damage reduction. Moving to the main battery, HMS Incomparable gets 3 twin-mounted 508mm guns. That's 6 508mm guns in total. With this build, these guns have a 24.6 second reload. They can rotate 180 degrees in 28.7 seconds. They've got a max dispersion of 182 meters with a max firing range of 17.6 kilometers. Both high explosive and armor piercing rounds have the exact same shell speed of 751 meters per second. High explosive rounds can penetrate 85 millimeters of armor. They can inflict a max damage of 7,400 with a 55% chance of setting the target on fire. The armor piercing rounds can inflict a massive 19,500 damage. Let's take a look at the secondary armament on the HMS Incomparable. 22 102mm guns in 11 twin-mounted turrets. These 102mm guns have a 3-second reload, firing high explosive rounds. They can inflict a max damage of 1500. They can penetrate 17 millimeters of armor with a 6% fire chance and a max firing range of 7.4 kilometers. And they have a shell speed of 811 meters per second. Moving to the torpedoes, HMS Incomparable gets 2 X4 launchers, one on each side, with a reload time of 96 seconds. They have a max firing range of 10 kilometers, 62 knots of speed, torpedo protection range of 1.3 kilometers, and they can inflict 16,767 damage. So a torp speed of 62 knots, firing range of 10 kilometers. Incomparable also gets access to 3 attack flights of depth charge airstrikes. See here the stats on screen. They have a max bomb damage 3600. They have a reload time of 70 seconds and a max firing range of 13 kilometers. When it comes to AA Defence, HMS Incomparable gets a rating of 88, 26 20mm Oerlikons, single mounted, 16 20mm Oerlikons Mark V, 8 twin mounted turrets. You can see them here on screen. 4 40mm Bofors Mark VII, 12 twin mounted 40mm Bofors, for octuple 40mm turrets. And finally, the secondary battery 102mm, the 11 twin-mounted 102mm guns also double up as AA mounts. And what this equates to, continuous average damage of 434, 6 shell explosions capable of a max damage of 1400, with a max firing range of 5.8 kilometers. Moving to the Incomparables maneuverability, she gets a max speed of 33 knots. This can be increased using the Sierra Mike signal flag to 34.7 knots. Again, the Incomparable has access to the engine boost, which does provide an additional 8%. She gets a turning circle of 1160 meters and a rudder shift time of 12.8 seconds. And this is with the steering gears mod. Should you go with propulsion, we can see here the rudder shift time drops to 16 seconds. Finally, we come to the Incomparables concealment rating of 59. You'll be detected at 10.6 kilometers by enemy surface ships and by enemy aircraft at 9.9 kilometers. So, I hope you enjoyed this first look at the HMS Incomparable. She is now in the game. One final reminder, the Incomparable is still a work in progress and subject to change. I'll return and cover this ship in detail once the ship is in its finished final state, and until the next time. I'd like to thank you once again all for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. Take a moment to check out some of my most recent videos and leave a comment below. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it.